Journey through the stories that define the artists playing Bonnaroo. Who are they? What are they? What will you see? The what? Which bands? This year, that matter.
Yay.
With Brad Steiner and Barry Corder.
You read me like a book, but you should take a second look now. You are so beautiful to me, just like a tapestry. Wanna hang you on my wall. You always wear that yellow dress. I say no, but you say yes now. You got that stubborn kind of charm. I want you on my arm to take you on the town. So please, won't you be my girlfriend?
You know, I really do wish that we could harmonize like this, Barry. How could we harmonize like this?
They take a lot of practice.
Do you think that we could at some point be bi-coastal beach pop? Do you think at any point me and you could be bi-coastal beach pop?
Beach pop. That, you know, I looked for that in the record bin, and I didn't find
It's not
bi-coastal
there.
beach
I
pop.
think you could harmonize like that if you guys were madly in love. Are you madly
Who
in
says
love?
that we're not?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm asking.
Why are you
madly in
judging
love?
me?
No judging. No judging.
We
This
have
is
that.
Bonnaroo.
There is a chance. There is a chance.
All right, so this is pretty amazing. This is, I don't think, has ever happened in Bonnaroo history. This is the Bonnaroo podcast, the What Podcast, a Bonnaroo podcast for Bonnaroovians by Bonnaroovians. Bonnaroovian A being Brad Steiner from WDOD Radio Hits 96 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Barry Corder, Bonnaroovian B from the Chattanooga Times Free Press.
And the Stone on Air production
What-
team, please.
And
Who's
don't
that
forget-
by there?
This is
Don't
all my
Okay.
stuff.
Don't forget.
Okay. I
What
don't
is
know
he?
who that
C,
was.
D,
That
or
mysterious
E?
man.
D, I don't care. This
Another
is
B.
At Stone on Air. Go ahead, proceed.
Brian Stone running the board.
Yeah, and
Making
with
all
us,
those
Running the
happen.
boards. Come on,
with
Barry.
us is Bonnaroovian C and D, Mr. Repeat and Mrs. Repeat. So you guys are not madly in love. Are you madly in love?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
We've only spent one night apart in
7 years.
and it was
No
on
kidding.
accident. Yeah.
Wow.
But we're not out here saying that that's what people should do.
Yeah, here I have a thing about that. Actually,
You can't get away
Yeah.
from him? Is that what you're...
We were 3 years into it before realizing
Yeah,
that we had only spent one night apart.
yeah.
And then we were like, this is a thing. Now we got to fucking
Now
try
you gotta
it.
do
You know,
it.
now we got to really try it.
And that's the other thing is I'm like always scared because like remember when like J-Lo was married to Ben Affleck and they were like on all the TV shows and they're like we're the perfect couple we will never get divorced and then like boom divorce. So I'm not gonna be like oh we're perfect like everybody's got to do this.
Yeah.
I'm just stating the facts. Only one night apart.
So, but I don't know how that. Okay, hang a second. But something must have happened in those 3 years. If you're spending every night together, that something's got to be going on.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to figure that out. Even you guys. You guys figured that out. You just weren't. You were too afraid to say it.
Are you locked in a room?
Am I Dr. Phil right now? I don't mean to be that way.
I will say this. I lived in a house 3 blocks from hers.
Okay.
And I lived with a bunch of stinky boys,
Right.
all musicians.
Welcome to Camp Nutbutter.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, I lived in the Camp Nutbutter of East Nashville, Tennessee, and she lived 3 blocks away with a girl roommate, and they had a very nice and clean house that had better air conditioning.
It
and
smelled better. The
so-
bathrooms were way cleaner.
Yeah, the number one reason that we spent every night together was because we were madly in love, and we are currently. But the number 2 reason was because her house was just, it smelled better, and it was nicer. And it was like 3 blocks away, so I could just leave my stinky fucking friends in the dust.
So living together now, who's taken
Yeah,
over
hey,
the
good
smell? Has the smell
Our
good, or has it
11
become
rescue
stinky?
animals.
That's
Wow.
true.
Good.
Yeah.
It's become someone else's smell
Yes.
now. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably more of the domestic one, though, too.
You are.
And
Yeah.
you guys are so in love. You have a K tattoo on your hand.
It's a J and K. Check that out. It's a J
Whoa, that's
for Jared
fantastic.
and a K for Kristen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, you have
Yeah,
it too.
And
Man.
and if she ever leaves me, it's just kidding. You know what I mean? And we have this other one matching. Says, "We are in space. No one knows what's going on, and I love you."
Oh, that's
Because
fantastic.
she's kind of
That's
spiritual,
nice.
and I'm an atheist, and so I feel like this is the closest we can get to like symmetry on that level. You know?
I could never love anything that much in my life. I don't know if I could
fair.
ever.
That's
And
not
you know
true.
what?
That's not
You
true
know
at
what?
all.
You might be normal. We might be the fucking freaks.
You're
I don't think
probably
so.
more likely.
Yeah.
No,
like
Brad-
this is not okay.
Brad's not telling the truth. His pet tattoo would be a B and a B.
Yeah, right.
For
and
Brad
then
and
my
Brad.
and then my hair.
Brad.
Yeah, my
Maybe
hair
an
is
H
somewhere
for
in
the
there.
hair.
It'd be a B with a little B inside the circle of the top of the B.
So what's happening here?
What was it I used to say? You only like two people.
I do.
One is yourself, and the other is fluid.
Yeah, it changes by the day.
Oh my goodness.
Really by the hour. Let's be
That
honest.
is amazing.
It
So
rotates.
this is what is so amazing about this is that never in the history of Bonnaroo has a podcast been recorded about Bonnaroo with an artist that's playing a Bonnaroo backstage at Bonnaroo. That's
Backstage,
never
yeah.
happened in the history of
You
mankind.
guys are breaking.
You guys are number
breaking.
one.
Wow.
We
Are
were-
the first
You're the
ones?
first
You're
ones
the
ever.
first
So
one.
thrilled and honored to
So
be here.
we started this podcast, and nobody had ever done a Bonnaroo podcast, and we said, we love
Yeah.
Bonnaroo. We've been here 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, let's do it.
You know, if we just want to fake it too, if you just after this, I can just kind of talk in a different voice, and you can say I'm Eminem.
right. I don't know how we got her. Beyonce is here.
Beyonce is here.
I have to tread lightly with that one. I feel like
Wasn't
Twitter
even on
would
the
not
line.
like me trying to act like Beyonce. So
Maybe.
So-
and
This-
Twitter is the judge
Yeah.
and jury
I'm on a Twitter kick right
of
now.
our lives.
Are you?
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm like, ooh, that person shouldn't have done that. Twitter's not gonna like it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Are you on a Twitter kick at Brad Stinks? At Brad Stinks on Twitter.
Oh,
At-
yeah.
Are you?
I think I follow you.
Oh, you better. I hope so.
I did my research.
Can I get a tattoo?
Yeah.
Can you
what?
get a-
I got one at the last festival we played at
Right.
Shaky Knees. I got a banana.
You went to Shaky Knees.
Yeah, and they had a tattoo. I think every festival should have a tattoo artist.
I
They
don't
have a
know.
tattoo parlor backstage, and they give you a
It's
haircut.
gotta be that time
Yes.
period, right?
And they give you an
Yeah.
IV.
48
That's
hours.
over.
Might not be making your best decisions.
Seemed like a good idea.
I've never made a
like
good
a good
decision.
idea.
Nothing says.
But is a banana tattoo on your knuckle really ever a bad idea?
Well, because nothing says a really dangerous man like a knuckle tattoo.
Here comes
Of
the
a banana.
By the way-
Here comes the banana. Look out.
It's an Andy Warhol reference, right?
Yeah,
No,
it's-
it's
act-
actually a reference to our dog.
Okay. Well, who? Andy Warhol? Who?
Yeah.
No, no.
That's the
We're
dog,
huge
damn it.
Warhol fans. Yes.
All right.
Actually, that was a huge inspiration for why we kind of made the music
For
we did.
this whole look of
Yeah,
yours,
actually,
too.
why I wear the
Nice.
stripes all the time.
You match her fanny pack.
Yeah.
No, it's over there.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
I was like, huh? Oh,
So okay, so when I go back to reset a little bit, because this is the first time this has ever happened, a Bonnaroo podcast has never existed about Bonnaroo, and we've never done a Bonnaroo podcast backstage at Bonnaroo, including the Bonnaroo people, by the way. So we're the first, and we're so excited to have Repeat sitting on our couch at Camp Nutbutter, and the reason why we liked you so much is because in a moment of desperation, we needed some content for a show one day, and we had no idea what to do. We're like, oh, I know, we could just spin the Bonnaroo wheel and
Oh,
see
yeah,
who we
yeah,
land
yeah.
on,
Oh,
and see if
wow.
we can learn
Bonnaroo
about
roulette,
some people.
we called it.
Bonnaroo roulette.
Get out.
And
Bonnaroo
Repeat
roulette.
was one of the artists that we found, and we've literally been listening to you guys ever since.
Yeah.
And we can't believe that you've been so close to us this entire time, and we had no idea.
Well, there's a thing about it is that
we were kind of like crouching tigers.
and Hidden Dragons, I think. Both, really. We work really hard, and we put ourselves out there, but we kind of, I feel like, do it the old-fashioned way, just by, working our asses off. I mean, we don't have some, rich uncle or, big investor. This is all, sweat equity and our own sweat
I'm
and
not
blood.
secretly the daughter of a famous
Yeah.
celebrity couple.
Neither of us are,
Not-
Instagram
no
famous
trust-
on the
not
side.
trust fund baby.
Yeah.
No trust fund
no.
babies.
Man,
This is
see,
all.
I wanted that life.
Yeah,
I keep
me too.
wishing
Me
and
too.
hoping, but
Yeah, so I think part of it is when people hear about it, it's organic because it's not oh yeah, I saw that person on that TV show and now they have a band. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not how we've done it. We've just kind of have more old school method.
I don't know if I told you, Brad, but when I reached out to see about maybe getting them to do this, I don't remember who your label person, but she was like, "Oh yeah, they'll probably do it. They're the hardest working band ever." Well, you did 20
You
interviews.
don't hear that very often.
oh, at a forecastle.
We
Yeah.
did 20
We did. This is actually a funny story.
Yeah.
We did 24. It was going to be 22 in 24 hours.
Yeah.
It turned into 24 in 24 hours. And that was the festival. This was, Forecastle 2017. That was the festival that I learned you cannot wear heeled, knee-high, gold glitter boots to every press occasion all over the
Thank
festival
God you've
grounds.
given me that tip. I was this close.
I was
I
going to
was
say,
this close.
Denson, you need to write this down.
Is everyone taking notes? I'm pretty sure I looked like a weird, superhero.
Barry, to go back to what you said, I think because we built the band early on, out of our own pockets. I mean, I worked doubles at a restaurant in the early years of the band, and like we put off like buying a home and like having normal things and vacations like normal couples do. We didn't go on a honeymoon. Like we dumped every ounce of money and time and energy into the band. Because of that, we value like the people that you have on your team. And so I hear other like PR people be like, "Oh yeah, you guys say yes to like so much press. Like I would love to have an artist like that." I'm like, I mean, press people cost a lot of fucking money. Like, you know what I mean? I want to get my money's worth.
Yeah.
And, you know, also get my name out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I mean, we want to get our name out there. We want people to hear us. And also the fact that you guys take time out of your lives and want to be interested in us.
Cool.
We don't take that for granted. You know, we really appreciate that.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting and what's so refreshing is that when you do... Oh, they're kissing. Oh, God. Not on my couch, please.
I was keeping it very low-key.
Guys, please.
Thankfully, it's
Sorry.
a podcast.
So what I love about this is that, like, when I found out that you guys were going to do this, the guerrilla marketing that you probably don't even need press people to do, but you also did the RV party last night,
Yeah.
which is insane. So that means by the way, your show's Sunday.
Yeah.
You guys could have gone home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't you go home?
It's a magical Wonderland experience that you don't get. I mean, we feel like we're going to look back at this time in our lives and wish that we had done, you know, we had like soaked up every minute. So
How often do you get to play Bonnaroo for the first time, you know?
And you're turning into entire.
yeah.
You're going
Yeah.
through the entire thing, all 6 days, Wednesday to Monday. I'm sure you're here Monday morning.
Actually, no, because we leave Tuesday morning for a 6-week-long tour.
Right.
And so this is it. And so when you started
Wow.
playing Bonnaroo, you said to yourself, this is our first shot at Bonnaroo.
Uh-huh.
We're never going to experience this again. Was this the white whale? Was this the thing that you wanted your entire career? Was this something that you said, bam, Bonnaroo? If we just got Bonnaroo.
Yeah, this was, I can't think of like a bigger goal that we had.
Yeah.
And I remember Jared sort of set the goal way before I thought it was a goal that we were going to have a chance at reaching. So I remember sort of being like every year we write down goals like right before
Because
the
you're
new
so
year.
spiritual.
So we're-
Yeah. Because you're putting it out in the universe and you want
Really
it to come
not
back
that
to you.
spiritual.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to be the Oprah of punk rock. You know what I mean? I want to be like, this is the secret. You just make the goal,
Make your
and you just
list.
think it, and it
Make your
happens.
list.
No, it's because I'm fucking anal retentive, and
He
I
was
have to like write
homeschooled.
everything down.
That's
And, like,
why.
I have to. If I don't cross it off, I feel like a failure because I just have like all these insecurities about myself. I'm like, I have to get this done.
Yeah.
So if I write it down, I feel like I will stop at nothing till we do this thing.
We have
you
a
know?
friend that described it beautifully one time. He said, "Man, you guys run a tight ship." Jared keeps lists of his lists. There, he has written lists, typed lists. Like,
you
it's
tattooed it on your body, for Christ's
Yeah.
sakes. So, yeah,
That's a
you've
good
got
point.
lists.
Yeah, you know
It's the homeschooler in him.
I suppose.
How long
we-
did it? So 3 years, 2 years? How long from the time you wrote Bonnaroo down as a goal?
Oh, that was this year. That was
We were-
2017.
Because here's the thing. I think also we're like, and that's one thing I wanted to say too is like, even though we do a lot of press, like we try to be smart. We are like defining our destiny here. So it's like we don't just take like every single thing. And just like we played last night, even though we're playing Sunday, we almost didn't play that. We made sure that we got like the blessing from Bonnaroo to do that basically because we don't just say yes and go. We're walking around with an acoustic guitar and be like, here's my CD.
Right.
You
like
know,
we wouldn't sell merch. We wouldn't do
Last
anything
night,
to
yeah.
detract from the festival.
yeah. So,
you
but
know.
Bonnaroo was like, yeah, go for it, and we were like, we were the only band that played Wednesday. Everybody else was a DJ, so we were the first band of Bonnaroo 2018.
What
you
was that like? We've talked about this for 2 days or more, really. The whole camping experience out there. What was that like playing to those guys?
It's
Oh.
kind of like Mad Max. Hold on, I'm gonna show.
Yeah.
You, I know this is
Yeah.
a podcast, but you can tell them about it. I'm gonna show them the picture.
Max is a great description of that.
It is
So what I
wild.
love about the RV camping that I noticed that was really different is everyone sort of has like their little homes there. Like they have everything. They have, like just above average setup. So everyone's just like, come in for a margarita. Like everything's just a little swanky. And they're definitely like a group, like all the RV people, like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
just tell they've been in that
It's a
same
little blurry
section
right now, but that was
for
last night.
years, and yeah,
That's cool.
it was really cool. They welcomed us in
It was just
just
wild. We're like-
amazingly.
Yeah, and there was like no stage. We played on grass, and there was like 400 people, and they were all around. Like literally at one point, the people behind us were like, "We can't hear the vocals," so somebody just like plugged in a speaker and like turned it to us back, and it was wild.
So why did Bonnaroo become such a thing for you? Why would that become on the list at all?
Gosh, it's just such a dream. I mean, this festival is
Had you ever been to Bonnaroo before?
yes.
Did you?
13, right? You were,
Yeah, we were here in
Ask
2013.
them the name of their camp.
Wasn't it?
Camp Peanut Butter. That's
Oh.
all we ate the whole time.
Nice.
Yeah,
Welcome. Yeah.
newly
This is
married
it.
at the
Yeah.
time, so it was like, yeah. One jar of peanut
2013, we also camped all 4 days.
Yeah.
We camped way out. We actually had media passes,
Mm-hmm.
Nashville perks. We at the time we were definitely not here for the band. We parked as far out in GA camping as we could,
Uh-huh.
thinking we want to sleep. We're going to be here for 4 days. We really want to sleep. The amount of walking that we did in 4 days. By the fourth day, Jared was just like pouting by the trash can.
She loves telling this story.
He was
by the way.
pouting by.
Pouting by
She
the
loves
trash
telling
can.
the story.
He would, yeah,
I can't
we
wait for
had
that
a
beach
blast,
pop
but we
song, Pouting
really
by the
did
trash
it.
Trash
can.
can. Yeah, it's gonna be like very melancholic. Yeah.
All I
She has
saw
a
was a
picture of it.
gravel road.
I'm sitting over there like pouting
I have a
because I'm
picture.
hot
It's
and
amazing.
fussy, and she's like over there like, ah, look at that. I felt like a kid on Santa's lap or something. I'm like,
Yeah, stop taking pictures.
yeah, please.
But I love that idea is how it got into your soul to begin with, because you're not from Nashville. And I guess you did because you're music fans, and you knew that
Yes.
Bonnaroo was sort of a thing,
Yes.
and you said, I've got to be a part of this.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we're festival people separate
Sure.
of whether we're
Well, I would.
playing it.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, like we're festival people in the sense of like we love camping and we love playing in the band and seeing bands and stuff like that. But we also love playing festivals. But I think that so Bonnaroo itself just had. I mean, we've played Shaky Knees and Forecastle and Firefly, and they're all unique and special in their own ways. Bonnaroo, the fan base with that, and the whole idea of radiating positivity, totally aligns with how we feel like as people in any sense of our life. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. Do you have like a set of brand values as a band?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really?
I mean, we
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
written it down though.
I can't believe
I
that for
know.
a fucking
I
second.
tattoo it on
I
my
don't
chest.
believe
You want to
you.
see my?
Probably
You want to see
have
my
at this
chest?
point, if we're really
Tonight.
thinking about it.
It gets written down tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're both just into. I mean, we're
Oh, well,
very.
you brought it up this morning on
I
the
thought you
drive
were
here.
pointing at someone.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah. You were driving.
Yeah. If there's one word to describe us each, Jared's would be inclusive, and mine would be compassionate. This is totally our festival.
Yeah, and
You know?
does that
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
the
for sure.
songwriting process and how you put together melodies and harmonies, etc.? Is that follow through when
To
you're
a point,
in
but
the
I
studio?
try not to box myself or ourselves in when making the song. So I try not to be like, Kristen, you've only gotten 30 seconds of singing time on this song, so we need to kind of even it out. Maybe we can add a couple more seconds. I think it's more like we want to make songs that are relatable to as many people as possible. And that gets tricky at times because we have a song called Mostly, and it's about a deteriorating relationship. And the idea that when a relationship falls apart, it's not usually one person's fault and the other person's totally in the clear.
Right.
I don't know many relationships where one person's like 100% right and the other person's 100% wrong. Even when there's infidelity or whatever, there's usually these underlying psychological issues, right? And so we watched a friend go through that, where both sides were at fault in different ways, and just all the head games and everything. So I wrote mostly about that. What's tricky is when you write a song about that and you're in a band with your wife, sometimes people assume that that's coming from a place of your own personal experience.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the funny thing is that I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. I can certainly fucking relate to it from past relationships, and so can you. But it's not coming from ours, you know. So, so I think in the idea of inclusivity, we try to write songs that, that you can. I think of Ben Folds in the opposite. Because when Ben Folds writes a song, I like his songs, but they're all about a girl named Kathy.
Right.
You know? And you're like, unless your name's Kathy and you're going through whatever's going on in the song,
This has nothing to do with you.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, this is a good song, but I'm not Kathy. So in that sense, I try to write songs on the opposite end.
It reminds me, and I've told this story a couple of times, but I got to interview Amanda Shires, Jason Isbell's wife, and the big story that year he'd written that beautiful, love song to her. And I said, what was that
Beautiful
like?
song.
And she said, well, first of all, it better be good. If you're going to write a love song for your spouse, it better be good.
Yeah.
And then she said, and then I felt like he'd put all our laundry out there.
Yeah.
Like everybody knows
That's
what's going on
interesting.
in our lives.
Yeah.
Well, you sort of have to do that. I mean, that's
Yeah.
sort of what you do. I mean,
Well, it's kinda what
stand-up
he's saying,
comedy is the
though, same
way.
People are going to assume when maybe it's not the case.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, and there-
Other people that assume would be moms, for example.
Oh,
Moms
dare
hear
you say.
songs,
Yeah, you did
and
what?
then they're like, "So, what's the story on that? Was this your mom? No, this was literally not that."
I've never thought about mom.
Yeah,
I
moms.
have never considered,
Moms.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
Mom's not going to like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know
well,
what?
wait till you have my mom.
If
yeah.
if we were to go through something and it inspired a song that we felt really passionate about, then so be it. I think that's just all part of making
Sure.
art. We just haven't gone through that yet, and that's the difference between us and J-Lo and Ben Affleck. Is that
That's
we're
the
not-
one difference.
The one
between
difference.
us.
So I hope that you guys go and see that at
Yeah,
theaters.
thank God he said that, not Gone Girl.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was, this is going to be a weird end to the story.
But,
that one.
we're not over here being like, oh, like we're perfect and we're gonna write from everybody else's perspective, but not ours. I just, I don't know. Like our first record was all about us. Was when we were dating and got engaged. It's like my love record to you.
The first record is really whimsical and very personal to our relationship.
She made me promise that the next record I wouldn't
Not
just,
about me.
Yeah, that I wouldn't just write all my songs about like our early blooming relationship. So I tried to observe things and things in my life. I mean, at the time when we made our last record like 3 years ago, I was waiting tables and like things I experienced in that scenario and just things in my family and stuff like that. So
I know we got to wrap. I have a personal question to ask because something just struck me when you were talking about that.
Sure.
You said earlier that you had to be convinced about this, Kristen, right? You had to be convinced of the whole thing.
Oh, well, I have never had to be convinced of him as a musician,
Right.
his band. I had to be convinced to sing in it.
Ah.
Kind of. I had to convince myself.
everyone else was like, "You've got a great voice."
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
do you feel like that was his play to get you?
No, we were
No.
together before. We were already engaged.
Yeah, we sang a couple of the demos at the reception at our wedding. Just like we were sitting around a bonfire. and we
Yeah,
had a
so
guitar.
he had me.
Oh, okay.
He had me.
Because
but
that would have been a good pull. That would
he
have been a
had me,
good
but
rope.
I
Yeah.
worked on the back side, the business side of music, doing branding and
Interesting.
design and websites for artists and that kind of stuff. And so I was always around for the practices. I basically put the visual to repeat, where he brought the music, and the part that we didn't see coming was that I would take part in the music.
Right.
That was suggested by the guy that has produced all of our music up until this point, and we just sort of went, what? You know, it took me about 6 months to sort of get over myself and be able to see myself in that role without feeling shy
Right.
and self-conscious.
But what a support system, though. I mean, you
yeah.
got the best support system you have to work through all those
Yeah.
kinks in the armor.
It's
Yeah.
really fun to
You
watch.
were the best through all of that crazy.
Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
again.
Kiss
Here we
again.
go
For
again.
the sake
Here
of
it
Brad,
goes.
we won't kiss again.
They're making out again on the couch.
He was
Jesus.
so patient
Get a
with me
damn
while I
tent.
was like,
Get a
That's
damn
true.
tent.
But you know what was really fun to watch, and it doesn't happen as often now because I feel like we've been a band for a few years, we've done a lot. But in the early days, I've been in bands since I was like 14 years old, and then I went to college and was in bands and stuff like that. So you get to a point. I know you guys, you've been in radio a while, right?
18 years.
So it's different when
Yes.
you watch somebody their first year
2
in
weeks.
radio, right? I mean, you just like you see it from different lens. And so for me, when we started the band, I knew I wanted to take it to the next level. But when we brought her on, this was her first band she'd ever been in. So to watch her go through all the things that I went through when I was like 14 was really refreshing to watch because
I'd get really excited about stuff
Did
and
it-
be like, guys.
Yeah, so did it re-energize you? I mean, was it sort of...
1,000 times
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
I mean, like the
Cool.
fact that, like even today, I don't know, like Alt Press tweeted about us because we're doing this takeover thing, and 3 or 4 years ago, we were like, they don't even know who the fuck we are. And so we just woke up. We had this great show last night. We're here at Bonnaroo. And they're like, repeat at Bonnaroo. Like, check them out, blah, blah. And Kristen's like getting emotional. And when you've done it for so long and you've been in bands that have started and failed, you get jaded. But watching her feel those feelings, because she's never felt that before,
I'm like,
it re-energizes
awesome.
you. You know?
It's
That's
just
so
never
awesome.
something that I like pictured in my life,
Yeah.
That's
so it's
cool.
weird.
Well, we can't thank you enough for being a part of it.
Thank
For letting
you.
us be a part of it, I guess. It's
Oh.
better
Yeah, it's
to
awesome.
say.
I mean,
we can hear all the helicopters flying. That means
Yeah.
That's
They're
the
coming to pick us
generator.
up.
That's
Awesome.
the
bringing the
generator.
bands in.
The Bonnaroo
Guys,
high.
Thank
it's
you.
not only is it refreshing to talk to an artist like you guys and talk to a band like you guys, but I feel like you're part of the Bonnaroo experience. I feel like you
thank
guys
you.
understand it and you get it. Those are the guys I like the most on stage, especially at this festival. Because the guys that get on stage and don't really care, they're the ones we usually walk by, right?
Yeah,
and you
for
guys
sure.
really, really care. And I can't wait to see shows with you. What do you want to see today? What are you guys
Thank
going to go?
Who's playing tonight?
We got Ron Gallo
Ron
tonight.
Gallo.
We got Pigeon
Ah.
playing ping pong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
What
Ron
else you got?
Gallo is amazing.
Our friend Arlamar's playing tonight. That's
Okay.
gonna be rad.
All right.
He's great.
I think
Yeah.
Flores tonight, right?
One
Yep.
thing we
Cozy.
learned at festivals is to
Cozy.
be fluid with
just go
who
with
we
it.
want to see, because
Yeah.
we're hearing a lot of them from press tents.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are at a festival. You're not really at a festival, unfortunately, sometimes.
Yeah, we try to be as much as possible.
And
That's
thank you
awesome.
for the kind words. Like, we feel very hungry, and like we try to balance this line of.
We've
like,
got some pimento cheese.
Oh, thank you.
And some nut butter, I think.
Oh.
That's
That'll
on
be
the
here
way.
later.
But we have no pimento cheese.
Believe me, when it gets to 105, we'll have plenty here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
I feel like
wow.
we need like a cheesy sound effect right there. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need an edit.
Fart and
button.
fart in the morning. You can get it any morning you want.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We're very hungry for this. We are excited for Sunday, and we hope that translates. But in my mind, my favorite bands and my favorite shows are where the bands are having just as much fun as the fans are, and we tried to do that too.
Yeah.
Because
Pace
you know,
yourselves.
yeah.
Pace yourselves. You guys got a long weekend. You got to be
Yeah,
ready
you
for
do.
Sunday. Pace yourselves.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
I appreciate it
Thank
so much.
you.
Repeat on the What Podcast, the What _podcast on Twitter, all this weekend on Bonnaroo.
Thanks so much.